Braking is probably the most important part of racing. Speed is great, but without good brakes, you won't be able to make any corners. Unless you're driving in an oval series where the brakes don't really matter that much. Today, we'll go over key braking techniques that will make you faster and more consistent on the track. Let's get started. So, the common mistake. Threshold braking. This is the most basic braking method, which is also the problem in really fast racing. This is basically where you're pressing the brake pedal as hard as you can and hoping the tires don't lock up. It gives you the maximum grip and allows you to slow down efficiently. This is useful when approaching sharp and heavy braking zones. Let's look at an example. This is Monza, a famous Italian track, and F1 races here. Turn 1 is a really heavy braking zone where cars go over 200 miles per hour on the main straight and have to brake really hard to make the first turn. In an F1 car like this one, drivers choose to brake between the 150 meter board and the 100 meter board, and usually they brake with 100% brake pressure to get the car slowed down in time. This method is useful for these braking situations and gives you a good corner entry into the corner, but isn't going to do you any good or hitting the apex or the exit of the corner. Another factor is that, say we do this in a GT car, we can use threshold braking to slow the car down and make the corner. But obviously we aren't taking the fastest line around the track, so this is wrong. And now let's say we're in a Formula or an open wheel car such as F1. There is no ABS in these cars, meaning if you use this method, you're not even going to slow down for the corner, even though the brakes on an F1 car are just insane. Or you might slow down, but you're just going to destroy your tires and you're not going to take the corner as fast as you could. Let's see this as an example. When you threshold brake in an F1 car, your tires will instantly lock up, meaning you don't get any grip and you're not going to make the corners. And in these situations, you really only get two options, where option 1 is your car slows down in time, but obviously you're going to slow down way too much and you're going to destroy your tires. Or option 2, where you just have to let go of the brakes to avoid locking up your tires, and you just have to pray that you can make the corner even at whatever speed you are going. So obviously there has to be a better way of braking into a corner, right? Well, this is where trail braking comes in. This technique involves braking as you turn into a corner. You don't let go of the brakes when you slow down. Here's why. It helps you transfer weight to the front tires, giving you better grip while you turn. You probably didn't understand what I just said if you're new to racing, but let me give you a better understanding. The weight in a car transfers over time when you are driving, such as when you're accelerating, braking, or turning through a corner. When you accelerate, the weight transfers to the back of the car, meaning there will be more grip generated from the back tires rather than the front, which is why in some cars with a lot of power, you can see that the front end of the car lifts up, and even if the car is all-wheel drive, you'll see the back wheel spin more than the front. And it's the complete opposite when you brake, where the weight transfers to the front of the car, meaning more grip. Now we'll go over weight transfers in a different video, but for now let's just get back into braking. Now that we know that when you brake, the weight transfers to the front, let's apply it to trail braking. Simply put, you have to brake through the corner so that the weight is at the front of your car at all times. And that way the front tires will generate more grip. And in return, you turn faster through the corner. This is the best braking method and you should definitely learn it. So here's how. When you hop into practice and start practicing, imagine there is a string attached from your foot to the bottom of your steering wheel. When you approach a corner, you can brake as hard as you want depending on how heavy you have to brake for the corner, and keep braking, but when you start turning the wheel left or right, you have to slowly release the brake. Not completely drop it, but slowly release it as you turn in. The best way of learning this is by looking at graphs. Even though that sounds so stupid and so boring, this is the easiest way of really understanding what is going on. Let's take a look. This is the threshold braking graph, where you can see that the graph is just straight. The line is going straight up, straight down, meaning you went from 0 to 100% brake pressure and then went back from 100 to 0 instantly, which can get the car slowed down in time but not give you enough grip through the corner. Now let's take a look at the trail braking graph. This graph is a bit similar, but that's only the corner entry, where obviously we have to brake from 0 to 100% brake pressure, but as we can see, the line has a slope, which is trail braking. since the person driving the car, who's me, is braking through the corner instead of just dropping the brakes. And taking the corner without any brakes won't give you enough grip. If your graph looks like this, then you are trail braking, so good job. Simply put, trail braking is where you gradually decrease the pressure rather than completely dropping it. So here's how you challenge yourself. Hop into an F1 car. F1 cars are much harder than GT cars because F1 cars really challenge you not to lock up the tires because they don't have any ABS. When you do threshold braking in an F1 car, as you can see right here, we just completely lock up, and in this situation we slow down way faster and slow down way more than we actually needed to. Just do a couple laps in these F1 cars with trail braking and avoid locking up the tires, which is the best way of practicing, and that these F1 cars really challenge you to trail brake. And this is how I practiced it, and since I've been doing it for a while, trail braking is just muscle memory. I just automatically slowly lift off the brakes. Braking isn't just about slowing down, it's about controlling your car and having grip through the corners. Practice these techniques and you'll see a big difference in your lap time. I'm working on another great video similar to this, and that's really going to increase your lap times. So I don't think you want to miss that one. So why don't you just like and subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Anyways, I'll see you next time.